If today everything around you fell apart, your career, your finances, your relationships, would your mind stay strong or would it fall apart with them? This is not a question for quiet moments. It's the kind of question asked by a mind that has faced reality, witnessed how fragile life is, and wondered, am I truly prepared? We live in a world full of unpredictability. A single moment, a single incident can completely change the course of someone's life. Most people, because they attach their peace to income, success, or people, place themselves in a fragile situation. When those things begin to fall, so do they, into panic, confusion, and sadness. But more than 2,000 years ago, the Stoic philosophers grasped something timeless. True peace doesn't come from possessions or outcomes. It comes from mental training. While the world outside may shake, the inner self can remain as solid as stone. This is the strength Stoicism offers to anyone ready to reshape their mind. In today's video, I'm going to reveal 10 proven Stoic principles that have stood the test of time. These lessons will help you build a mind that is calm, focused, and unshakable, no matter what storms come your way. Principle number 1. Recognize the two realms of control. If the mind is a battlefield, then knowing the dichotomy of control is like choosing the right armor, your first line of defense. Epictetus, one of the wisest Stoic thinkers, once said that some things are fully within our power, like our thoughts, decisions, and behaviors, and others are entirely outside of it, like the climate, other people's judgments, world events, and even fate. Without understanding the boundary between these two, many people waste their strength fighting unwinnable battles, sinking into frustration and hopelessness. Think about it. How often in your life have you lost time worrying over what you couldn't influence? How many moments of rage or despair ended with the painful realization that you were only wearing yourself down? Like a sailor caught in a raging sea, you can't stop the wind or quiet the thunder, but you can shift the sail, grip the wheel tightly, and ride the waves with control and intent. Is your startup struggling to attract investors? Instead of getting stuck blaming outside forces, refocus on what you can affect. Enhance your product, care for your current users, and upgrade your knowledge. In a disorderly world, dedicating your attention to your own circle of power isn't just a way to endure. It's how you build inner strength. As Epictetus once urged, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. This isn't casual advice, it's a method for survival. When your thoughts are fully committed to your domain of control, you become like a soldier preparing for battle, sharper, calmer, and above all, less likely to be broken when the unknown arrives. The dichotomy of control isn't about giving up, it's about making a wise and conscious decision. It requires the vision to see what truly deserves your focus and effort. In everyday life, it often begins in the quietest instances. When someone insults you unfairly, you can flare up in anger, or you can choose calmness. When setbacks hit your work, you can complain endlessly, or you can commit to growing better. A mind that fully understands what is and isn't in its control becomes like a well-adjusted sail in stormy weather. It won't stop the wind, but it will help you navigate through it. And with every hardship you survive, your mental armor thickens. Layer upon layer, steadier and more resilient. So reflect now. Are you wasting your energy resisting the uncontrollable? Or are you quietly sharpening what lies within reach? That one answer may shape the fate of your inner world, whether it becomes a fortress that stands firm or a sandcastle waiting to collapse with the next tide. Principle number 2. Amor fati, love your fate. Amor fati isn't a catchy phrase, it's a mindset, a discipline that sees every twist of life, joyful or painful, as material for inner strength. We often love moments of triumph, but Stoicism teaches that real strength is born in the ability to love even what hurts, because it is those very struggles that shape us. Amor fati does not ask you to wear a fake smile when things fall apart. It asks you to meet reality head-on, like a master craftsman working with rough timber, skillfully carving it into something meaningful. Picture a top athlete suddenly sidelined by a major injury. Many would fall into hopelessness and walk away. But someone living by amor fati views this moment through a different lens. The time off becomes an opportunity to refine skills, focus on recovery, and build inner toughness. When they return, they don't just regain physical strength, they come back mentally transformed. tougher, wiser, and more in tune with themselves. As Epictetus once advised, don't wish for events to go your way. Wish instead to love things as they unfold. Then, your life will move in harmony with nature. This is the essence of amor fati, abandoning fantasies, embracing what is, and welcoming life exactly as it comes. When you teach your mind to love your fate, not just when everything is easy, but especially in moments of challenge, you unlock a quiet power. You'll no longer be a fragile ship tossed by the sea. You'll become the sea itself, immense, stable, and open to all of life without losing your core identity. But how do you rise to such emotional strength? How do you rewire your instincts to welcome hardship instead of resisting it? Amor fati lays the groundwork, but the Stoics had another mental exercise they used time and again: negative visualization. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, what is the absolute worst that could happen? And if you mentally prepare for it, is there really anything left to fear? Right after this moment, we'll explore principle number 3, a mental habit so effective it can shift the entire way you approach the unknown. Principle number 3, negative visualization. If today you lost the phone in your hand, or suddenly all your data vanished, how would you respond? Most of us would panic, feel regret, or lash out. We've grown accustomed to treating these things as permanent fixtures in life, forgetting how easily they can disappear. But negative visualization isn't about becoming paranoid. It's more like learning to swim before being thrown into deep waters. By deliberately picturing the worst-case scenarios, we train our minds to face life's shocks. Like a warrior who drills in harsh storms, not just on peaceful days, we prepare not for fantasy, but for reality. So before diving headfirst into your day, pause. Close your eyes and imagine your phone might break, a job offer might fall through, or a door you waited on might close. Feel the emotions swell, but instead of reacting with fear, let your inner wisdom guide you calmly through the storm. I knew this was possible. I am ready. In that instant, you're giving your mind a powerful reminder. Nothing in life is promised, so nothing should ever gain full control over your peace. If you practice negative visualization often, you'll begin to notice something unusual. The things that once felt heavy with importance, the expensive phone, the daily metrics, or other people's opinions, start to lose their grip on you, drifting away like smoke in the breeze. Suddenly, you feel genuine thankfulness in ordinary moments. When your phone turns on, you don't just use it, you appreciate it. When you get out of bed and feel well, you're not just lucky, you're aware of that gift. This sense of gratitude isn't fake or forced. It grows from having faced the idea that these things could vanish. Preparing for loss doesn't make you fragile. It makes you strong. Like a soldier who trains before battle, you're becoming emotionally fit to stand firm when life shakes. So tomorrow, when your eyes open to a new day, will you leap out of bed blindly? Or will you pause for just one moment to reflect, to visualize, and to move forward with a mind made a little steadier? You can begin right now. Every time you picture loss, you're actually learning the true art of holding on to yourself. Principle number 4, turn obstacles into paths. When a door slams shut in front of you, how do you react? Do you shout in frustration, sink into helplessness? Or do you pause, take a step back, and see that what looks like an end might actually be a redirection? Obstacles are not detours, they are the road itself. This isn't just a catchy line from a book, it's the very backbone of Stoic thinking. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action." In other words, what blocks your path can become your path. This idea isn't stuck in the ancient world, it's alive in today's challenges. When the COVID-19 pandemic shut down thousands of small cafes, many owners gave up. But one owner did the opposite. He adapted. He launched an online course to teach coffee-making skills to people stuck at home. His old business model was gone, but he forged a new one. The tiny space that could once serve only a few customers at a time was suddenly replaced by a global classroom. His audience and earnings soared beyond anything he had imagined. Obstacles are not your foes. They are personal trainers in disguise, giving you tougher tasks so you become tougher too. If you only lift light weights, your body never changes. In the same way, if life never challenges you, you never grow. Your mind will remain delicate, like glass in the heat, unless you train it to see adversity differently. To truly transform obstacles into stepping stones, you must first shift the way you view them. Don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead ask, "What can this teach me?" Rather than running from difficulty, lean into it. Treat it as raw material to be shaped. Every mistake hides a lesson, every loss a deeper strength. Storms that once seemed like ruin may actually be the winds pushing you toward greatness. Behind each roadblock lies a lesson meant only for those strong and steady enough to find it. The real test comes when you're face to face with failure. Do you treat it like the finish line or the first step of a new journey? Each fall has the potential to fuel a rise, each setback a setup for something greater. If you've ever taken a moment of hardship and turned it into growth, share that story below. You never know who needs it right now and how your experience could light a way for someone else. Even a simple story can create ripple effects, and from that one ripple, a whole new path might open for you. Principle number 5, voluntary difficulties. Seneca, one of Stoicism's wisest voices, didn't wait for suffering to knock at his door. He chose to face discomfort head-on, living for several days at a time with minimal food, hard beds, and scratchy clothing. Seneca didn't embrace these hardships simply for the sake of asceticism. He did it to teach his mind an essential lesson. Happiness doesn't stem from wealth, but from the fortitude of the inner self. Seneca famously said, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, 'Is this the condition I feared?'" It was through these self-imposed exercises of poverty that he conquered his fear of losing comfort. He was no longer a prisoner to luxury. You can apply this concept right where you are, amidst the demands of modern life. Try 1 week without your car. Take the bus instead. 1 week without that expensive morning coffee, or 1 week cutting your screen time by half. These simple, even small practices serve as real workouts for your willpower. Just as athletes lift weights to develop their physical strength, we too must challenge ourselves to fortify our mental resilience. Each time you push through a voluntary discomfort, you're expanding your capacity to endure. You'll find yourself standing strong when life's storms come. Instead of craving ease, you'll find stability in your own ability to adapt. Picture your mind as a sailboat. On clear days with calm seas, anyone can sail effortlessly. But it's those who have trained against strong winds who remain intact when the storm hits. Voluntarily stepping into discomfort is like paddling upstream. It's tough and draining, but it strengthens you. In return, you build an unwavering ability to face life's challenges. And when adversity strikes, whether it's a job loss, heartbreak, or financial trouble, you'll be ready. You will smile because your mind has tasted deprivation, has endured days where comfort was deliberately sacrificed. You've learned, "I can handle this. I don't break under pressure." If you're still watching, I want to express my deep gratitude. Your presence and attention not only allow this video to reach further, but also contribute to spreading seeds of strength in the world. A smile, a brave act, a wiser choice. If you're thinking about clicking away, don't. Trust me, it would be a huge mistake. What's coming next is even more groundbreaking. We're just getting to the best part, and the insights that follow could truly change your life. So stay with me, take a deep breath, and prepare to dive into Principle 6, where we'll explore how to fully live in the present moment, like a true Stoic warrior. Principle number 6, live in the present moment. If you've ever found yourself with trembling hands before a presentation, stayed up late fretting over an unanswered message, or regretted missing an opportunity, then you've experienced the destructive power of a wandering mind. Anxiety pulls us forward into an uncertain future, while regret tethers us to a past that cannot be changed. Both rob us of our greatest power, the ability to be fully present in this moment. Stoic philosophy teaches that true happiness doesn't lie in what's already gone or what's yet to come, but in our capacity to anchor ourselves in the present. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." This isn't just simple advice, it's a remedy for all forms of insecurity. Picture the mind as a small boat. When it rushes forward into the stormy waves of worry or constantly looks back at the foggy past filled with regret, it loses its way. Only when the sailor firmly steers the rudder into the present moment can the boat navigate through the storm. In real life, this lesson is crystal clear. Imagine someone standing before a crowded hall, the lights blinding their eyes, hundreds of gazes fixed upon them, and their heartbeat pounding like war drums. If, at that moment, their mind drifts to fears of failure or images of being mocked, their voice will shake and their movements will stumble. But if they focus solely on their breath, each inhale and exhale, and ground their attention in the words they are speaking, everything else will vanish. No past, no future, only a person and an action unfolding perfectly. It's in that moment that true skill appears, not because of magic, but because they've freed themselves from the weight of what cannot be controlled. Fear dissolves when the light of the present shines through. This principle applies not just in moments of high pressure. Even when sipping a glass of iced milk coffee, if your mind is tangled with missed KPIs or looming deadlines, you will lose the rich flavor of that experience. Life is not unfolding in distant, imagined futures. It's happening right here, in the cup of coffee before you, in every silent beat of your heart. So ask yourself, where is your mind right now? If it has drifted, gently bring it back, like a sailor carefully adjusting the sail in a strong wind. Day by day, through consistent practice, you will find yourself steadier, clearer, and less shaken by invisible storms. Because in the end, no one can defeat a person who has mastered the art of living fully in every single moment. Principle number 7 is the daily reflection journal. If the mind is a warrior, then the journal is its mirror, where the warrior sees their wounds, recognizes their scars, and watches the light of growth shining on their face. Every night, before sleep overtakes you, take a few minutes to face yourself. What virtues did I live by today? Where did I fall short? And tomorrow, how will I correct myself? Writing is not just about recording thoughts. It's how you carve your experiences into your soul. It's when the scattered events of the day are transformed into vivid wisdom. Mistakes are no longer open wounds, but precious lessons. Like a blacksmith with a hammer, you wield your pen, and every line you write sharpens your mind and strengthens your spirit. There's no need for lengthy reports. Sometimes a single line is all it takes. Today I lost my temper when I could have been patient or before. Today I chose silence over speaking harsh words. It's these simple, honest reflections, repeated day after day, that quietly shape you into someone new. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wrote reflections like these in his meditations. He didn't write to boast, but to keep himself alert to the temptations of power and pride. He understood that conversing with oneself is the most powerful form of self-discipline. Today, amid the whirlwind of notifications, deadlines, and social media, sitting down, turning off all distractions, and speaking honestly with yourself through the page is a quiet act of revolution. It's how you pull yourself out of the rushing river of life and stand firm on a solid rock, the rock of your virtues. Through each page, you'll witness something extraordinary. You'll see yourself grow, not through achievements or praise, but through knowing where you were wrong, where you were right, and quietly promising yourself to take one small step forward. This steady, silent inner growth is the most powerful and enduring source of motivation, untouchable by any external circumstance. So tonight, will you choose to scroll through social media for another 30 minutes, or will you spend 10 minutes writing a page of growth? Choose wisely, because every page you write today will build a mind tomorrow that nothing can defeat. Share in the comments. When would you like to start your habit of reflective journaling during the day? I will read every share and walk alongside you on this journey of training the mind. Principle number 8, memento mori. Remember that you will die. If today were your last day, how would you live differently? This question isn't meant to induce fear, but to awaken a fundamental truth. Life is not infinite. In the modern world where everything feels both urgent and meaningless, stopping to become aware of death is like pulling the emergency brake on a runaway train. Stoic philosophers have long reminded us, memento mori, remember that you will die, not to sadden us, but to awaken us. Death is not our enemy. It is the silent teacher walking beside us, reminding us that every passing moment is a piece of our life slipping away forever. When you truly understand this, every day becomes a gift. Every conversation, every glance, every embrace becomes precious. Imagine, Instead of meetings or social media notifications, your phone screen displaying a countdown clock of your remaining lifetime. Every second that ticks away is one less breath you will ever take. When faced with such an image, you realize just how much precious time has been stolen by mindless scrolling, by petty arguments, by chasing goals that were never truly yours. This awareness of life's finitude reshapes the way we live. It makes us braver. When you know you will die, you are no longer hesitant to speak words of love. You no longer delay stepping away from an unfulfilling job. You no longer waste another day living someone else's life. You begin to choose more carefully, choosing the people you truly want to be with, choosing the work that makes you proud, and choosing habits that nourish your inner self, rather than drifting along with the shallowness of the crowd. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." That reminder strikes like a hammer against the procrastination within us. There is no longer room for "I'll do it tomorrow." No excuse for spiritual laziness. A true sense of urgency, not to panic, but to live fully, begins to blossom from that awareness. In truth, memento mori is not a dark idea. On the contrary, it opens the door to a deeper way of living. When you know you are finite, you no longer fear the small things. You no longer waste energy worrying about a vague, distant future. Anxiety belongs to what is far away. Regret belongs to what is past. All you truly have, all that is genuinely yours, is this present moment where you have the power to choose a life worthy of yourself. So right now, what will you do with the time you have left, ticking away second by second? The answer is yours alone to write. When the world measures success solely by numbers, fame, or medals, the Stoics quietly return to a single question: have I lived true to my virtues? For the Stoics, the only true success is success in character. 4 pillars stand as the measure of every action: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. You might lose contracts, miss opportunities, or even lose recognition. Yet if you keep your mind upright, untouched by the lure of rewards or the sting of punishments, you have already triumphed in the way of Stoicism. A sales representative steps into a brutal race for revenue. Around him, colleagues whisper tips and tricks, embellish the product, exaggerate its benefits, and manipulate emotions to close deals faster. He could easily take that shortcut, quick, effortless, and tempting, with promises of instant success. But instead, he chooses a harder path: absolute honesty. He takes time to listen to customers, to truly understand what they need, and only recommends solutions that genuinely fit. He accepts losing easy deals, accepts skeptical glances from coworkers, and even endures early drops in his performance numbers. At first glance, he seems to be falling behind, but paradoxically, it is his unwavering commitment to virtue that will ultimately define his success. His refusal to trade personal integrity for short-term gains quietly builds an unshakable trust. That trust doesn't just help him close bigger deals later, it inspires customers to voluntarily refer him to others. When trust takes root, it grows fruits far more enduring and rewarding than any quick, flashy sales victory ever could. Results, in the end, are but winds offshore. Whether the wind is favorable or against him, the Stoic rower asks only, have I rowed with full awareness and dignity? What you become, a person of integrity, resilience, and clarity, will stay with you for life. The victories and failures out there will sooner or later be washed away by time. If you aim only for outcomes, you become a slave to forces beyond your control. But if you aim for virtue, you become the true master of your life. Live to win within yourself, not to chase the fever outside. So pause for a moment and ask yourself, today, in every small choice, who am I becoming? We are close to touching the final principle. If virtue is the foundation of a steady mind, then Principle 10 will open a new frontier for you, expanding your vision and connecting you to the vast universe. A principle of great power called sympathia, the sacred interconnectedness. Are you ready to expand the borders of your inner world? Let us continue with principle number 10, sympathia, connecting to the universe. Have you ever wondered, in your weakest moments, what could lift you back up? When everything around you falls apart, when your personal efforts suddenly crumble into pieces, what force is greater than yourself that you can hold on to? Stoicism offers a subtle answer: sympathia, the connection with the universe. Sympathia is a reminder that you do not exist alone. You are part of the vast current called life, like a drop of water in an immense ocean. When the mind withdraws into personal loss, pain easily swallows you whole. But when you broaden your vision and see yourself as part of something far greater, your individual struggles shrink to the size of a speck of dust in the wind. A solitary wave easily breaks apart. But if you understand that you are part of the ocean, you will realize that your strength is no longer confined to the individual. When you understand that every person, every event, and even every pain contributes to the grand tapestry of humanity, you are no longer fighting alone. You stand firm, not because you are invincible, but because you have anchored yourself to a greater power. Imagine this. Your life is like a small boat adrift on a vast ocean. If you spend all your energy fighting off every single wave, focusing only on each isolated struggle, you'll soon find yourself exhausted both physically and mentally. But if you learn to observe, to read the currents and understand the flow, to feel the wind and align with the natural movement of life, you'll discover how to steer not through force, but through harmony. In that state, even during the fiercest storms, you remain calm and in control. Sympathia is exactly that art, letting go of the narrow lens of the self to see that you are part of a larger web of life. When you open up, connect, and empathize with others, you don't just become stronger, you become clearer. Because living isn't about surviving alone, it's about coexisting, moving forward together, and overcoming life's challenges as one. In everyday life, sympathia quietly appears. When you pause amid overwhelming deadlines to help a stranger pick up something they've dropped. When you choose to forgive instead of harboring resentment because you understand that we are all struggling with our own battles. When you smile at someone on the street, not for personal gain, but simply because you and they share the same breath of life. So, whenever you feel like falling apart, ask yourself, am I focusing too much on my own pain? Or am I seeing myself as part of this universe? Because when you dare to look beyond yourself, personal wounds lose their weight. You are no longer a lonely warrior, you become a branch rooted in the vast forest, nourished by the same living earth. Ultimately, training your mind to be unbreakable is not just about learning to endure, but about learning to belong. Belonging to something greater than yourself. And in that invisible connection, you find true freedom. Freedom from fear, from despair, from isolation. You discover a quiet, unshakable strength. The mind cannot stay steady without being trained. And as you've just seen, every Stoic principle is like a workout for your brain, not to make you numb, but to make you calmly strong. When practiced consistently, you'll notice less anxiety, slower reactions, and a sense of peace that starts from within. No matter how stormy the world outside gets, you'll remain unshaken. You don't have to apply all 10 principles at once. Just pick one and stick with it as a daily habit. So what about you? Among the 10 principles we just covered, which one hit you the hardest? Which one do you want to start trying today? Share your experience or perspective in the comments. I read every one of them. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to help spread the Stoic mindset to more people. And stay tuned. In the next video, we'll dive deeper into amor fati, loving your fate, and how to turn failure into a competitive edge. See you there.